Hi, this is Brad, and welcome to another video in the bitB training series. Today we're going to look at credentials, and we're going to look at credentials when you have SNMP enabled. So you could have SNMP enabled, SSH enabled, and Telnet enabled. Now again, we prefer you use SSH over Telnet because SSH is secure. But if you're using SSH for some of your devices and SNMP for the others, we want to show you how to set this up and give you an idea about priorities with the credentials. So the first thing you do is go to Tools. Oh, actually, let's confirm that you have SNMP in the version that you're working with, because SNMP is currently available in the beta version. So if you just go to File, and if you look here under Auto Discovery Settings, you'll see an option for SNMP. Just check that and make sure it's enabled. And if you're using SSH, check that. Telnet, check that. Okay. That just says what connection protocols can I use during add device and auto discovery. The next thing you want to do is go to the actual credential manager, which is under Tools, Credentials. You can see here I've already added two credentials. I have two SNMP credentials. We don't show the community once you enter it, the community string, but it is in there. And what you can do now is you can add a credential for SSH. And you'll notice here you just have to select SSH to add your credential. And there's another video on credentials which talk more about the types of credentials, but I'll just tell you briefly here. If you put in default, that means that credential will be used for any IP address that you either add manually to bitB or that's discovered during auto discovery to pull that device again. We would use this credential also. And then host IP is if you put a credential in for a specific IP, it'll just be used for that IP. And if you use another popular one as network address, that means if you put a network address in, like a subnet, then any device on that subnet would use that credential. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we'll add another default. So we have two defaults for SNMP in there already. Let's do a default for SSH. Okay, I'll put one in here. And I'll put a password in here. Okay. All right. And then I say save, and my credential's saved, and again, it doesn't show the password. You can actually double click on these and come up. When they come up, you can see that you've entered a password in here. And the same would happen if you did a credential for SNMP. Okay. So now I have it in here. Now notice the priority. This priority, you can actually change the credential and move it. So I can move SSH up to the top. If I move SSH up to the top, that means the SSH credential will be used before the SNMP credentials. And that's what I would recommend. If you have devices that could be discovered via SSH, put those first so that that's tried first. If for some reason it can't be discovered via SSH, then it will try SNMP. Okay? And as I have two SNMP credentials in here, it'll try the first credential. If that doesn't work, it'll try the second. Okay? Well, I hope this helped. Help you understand credentials better. And also if you have SNMP enabled. Let me show you actually one more thing before I do end it. Notice that all three are bold like they can be used right now. If you add those credentials, when you have them all selected over here, SSH and SNMP, you'll notice they're bold. If I actually disable one, those credentials are not going to be used now. So it'll skip SSH, and if I pull up the credential list now, notice that the SSH one, right after I click off that, is actually grayed out. Okay, and I'll just show you that it's not going to be used. So just remember, you got to have those checked in the file menu. All right, so I hope this helped with credentials, especially when you have SNMP also enabled. So thank you, and I hope to see you back to watch other videos in the bitB training series. Thank you, and have a great day, and enjoy mapping your network with bitB. Thank you, and have a good day.